Suit up, strap in, warm the tires, and leave on yellow. Time for the MitsuTimes podcast. Presented by MitsuTimes.org, the home of the fastest Mitsubishi cars. With your host, Josh.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Josh from MitsuTimes. Today, my guest is Justin Del Cole. He is the owner and driver of one of the sickest black Evos I've ever seen. How you doing today, sir?
Good. How you doing?
I'm great, man. The shot that you have with the fireworks in the background, man, that's got to be. I hope you have that painted on your wall somewhere.
Just calendars, man. Just on calendars.
I think I would have that framed. That is just one of those once in a lifetime kind of deals. I love that shot.
Oh yeah, it was definitely it's just one of those random things that just happened. I believe it was actually Kenny Klein guys out in the field setting off fireworks one night. So it just happened to perfect timing, I guess.
Yeah, it all came together because that is like still one of my favorite shots of all time.
Well, I appreciate it.
All right, Justin. So tell me about the setup on your build.
So setup is so currently the car has a 7285 next gen precision turbo. A 2.2 liter aluminum rod motor, race ported head, full Kigley race valve train, and Ferreira valves, all built by Slow Motion Motorsports. It has a ETS 6-inch intercooler that was custom anodized purple by ETS, JM Fab billet intake manifold, switched back to 4 injectors this year, the 2600s. Just because to try to calculate a little more injector flow, things like that, and try to dial it in a little more.
Heck yeah.
So this year I'm actually going to be running the X Clutch triple disc, and as far as I know, I am the first person to actually purchase this clutch.
Oh, nice.
So I'm curious to see how it does. I've heard great things about X Clutch, and they're a local company to Ohio, so it's kind of exciting. And the wife of the owner of Slow Motion Motorsports, went to work there not too long ago at X Clutch and kind of, drove me towards that clutch. So I'm curious to see how it does. For great things, I think it's going to be a great, drivetrain wise. We run a Shep Trans T case with a M Factory diff. We run a Shep Dog Box, PPG gears, and then we actually have a TRE locking rear diff from the old AP Racing drag car. So,
wow.
That's new this year. I have Daniel Pagan's AP Racing rear diff out of his drag car. So, from there, we did the drive shaft shop axles this year. So I don't know if anyone knows it, but this is the actual first year the car has been off of factory axles. The car has seen over 350 passes in just my ownership, 8 seconds and 950s on factory axles. So it's been pretty impressive, but this year we decided to upgrade so we don't break as much stuff. But I mean, that's the main setup on the car, drivetrain engine-wise. So
you've got the build turned up to 11 now.
Definitely an 11 now. So hoping to make some noise this year.
Heck yeah. So Justin, what was it that made you choose the Evo platform in the first place?
I guess like everyone else, my age we came up, we had Gran Turismo and things like that. So you have that, you have the Evos on the game. And then 2003 hit, and they started bringing them into the dealerships, and you see that car and you fall in love with it. Obviously, the first time I tried to buy one, it didn't work out so well. The sales guy kind of looked at me like I was crazy. A 20-year-old kid trying to buy a $40,000 car just kind of looked at me kind of weird. So I ended up with a Subaru for a while.
Oh wow!
Then I went back to the shootout, and I just saw Busher and AMS and those guys just pass after pass after pass, just knocking off nines, things like that, and it just seemed so easy. And I was like, all right, I got to get rid of this car, get an Evo now. So, it was a dream car ever since Gran Turismo came out, and had to get one after that. So
definitely. And you were talking about hanging up there with the big boys. I was just looking at some of my notes here, Justin. Your 60 foot is well up there. I guess you just maybe we're taking it easy on the stock axles then.
Yeah, we've never really put the power off the starting line yet. We try to ease things out just because of that stock rear end and those stock axles all around. So I think the best 60 foot we've had to date was like a 148. But most of the times it's a 1.5 to 1.6. I want to say even on the 8-second passes it was like a 1.57 or something like that. So we've never thrown everything at the car yet. But this year is going to be the year though. So
heck yeah. So Justin, what was this one like when you first picked it up?
So honestly, it was just a bolt-on car. It had some HKS 272 cams, some cam gears, things like that. No drivetrain work done to it whatsoever, and it had like a BBK full on it when I first picked it up. So it was decent when I got it. It probably would have done high 10s, low 11s or something like that when I first got it, but the idea was to just keep it as a mild street car, and just enjoy it. I guess that was the big purpose of the car when I first got it. So
no real goals when you first picked it up, just to enjoy it.
Yeah, just to enjoy, cruise ins, go to the car shows, things like that. The through town cruise everyone does nowadays. The old cars, things like that. That was the main goal when I got the car, was to have something to drive and enjoy. Mainly on weekends, but car shows, things like that was the main goal. So.
I gotcha. So Justin, you've had quite a few different setups over the years. Why don't you tell us about some of the ones that you've really liked?
So I will say my favorite setup was probably the Precision 6870 turbo setup I had on it, which was the original 8-second setup that I had on there. It was simple. It worked. Like I said, we never really maxed the car out off the starting line. And that engine and that setup, made I want to say over 170 passes, with just regular maintenance on it.
No kidding, wow.
And that ranged from 8.9 to about 9.3 or so. It won a lot of events with that setup. So that was probably my favorite setup I had in the car. We had a 64-66 on there for a while for the the FIS class at import face-off, things like that, and some of the other street classes. Another great setup. Didn't break a whole lot of stuff. It worked well. The car ran well. I want to say our best pass with the 64 was like probably a 9.3 or so. I probably should have kept the 6870 on there. Like I said, it worked. That setup just, for whatever reason, the car was happy, the drivetrain was happy, everything was happy. But then I guess you get that craving for a little additional power, a little additional mile an hour speed.
Need a little more, yeah.
Little more every time. So that's when we switched to that 7285 mechanical fuel pump, switching things around. We've gone from Hall Tech and now we're going to be on Fuel Tech. We'll see. It's going to be, I hope, a good year. We've had a couple trying years the past few years, but I think finally after having this setup in it for a little over a year now, that we'll start getting some things dialed in and getting the car working correctly. So.
Hell yeah. That's awesome. So you said that 6870 that broke you into the 8s for the first time. What year was that?
I think that was 2021, I believe.
Okay.
Was the first time I ran 8s. Yeah, it was it was extremely exciting. We had ran 9.0 probably 20 times straight. That was the crazy thing about that setup. It was almost like a bracket stick shift car because it went 9.05, 9.07 probably 20 straight times.
Wow.
And then somehow we dipped in the 890s over there at Kevin and Katie's old track over there at MCR, and it was it was good. It was a very exciting night for myself and all the guys that helped on the car at that point. So.
Hell yeah! Was that on? That was on ethanol too? Did you say?
Yeah. So that back then that was actually that wasn't even like drum fuel. That was just straight pump ethanol. That was nothing crazy. We weren't doing like ignite or anything like that.
Yeah.
It was just straight go to the pump and grab some E85 and throw it in the car, and that was it. So
wow. So you get a lot of room to grow with this car.
Yeah. So it was, and I want to say that pass was at on that 68. We were only at like 52 psi on that pass, so it was nothing crazy. So yeah, like I said, the setup just worked. It was amazing. I probably should have stuck with it, but every guy gets that that little inkling for a little more power, a little more speed.
So Justin, what would you say? What would you say is motivating you to, keep going with this car instead of, we see a lot of Evo guys last couple of years just sell it, move on to a different platform, Supra or whatever. What is it that's making you stick with this car?
Honestly, it's a lot of it's the community. Having the people in the community is a huge benefit. I've been around for a long time. I want to say like this community has been like one of the better ones to be around. Everyone's pretty helpful, pretty nice to each other.
Mm-hmm.
The other part is the fans, the people that like my car. Seeing those little kids come up and want to take pictures with it, take pictures of it, things like that. It's a special thing because when you're a kid and you walk around, you see these cars and you kind of do the same thing. So I don't see myself ever selling the car, even if I stopped racing at some point. I don't think I would sell. I think it would just, be here in case I wanted to drive it. But yeah, I definitely say it's community. Even even the local people, It's that they see the car and they respect it, even if they're V8 guys or old school guys. Everyone has just enjoyed the car over the years, and it makes it better and more enjoyable when everyone is actually enjoying the car instead of having that domestic versus import beef or
right.
The other problems in other communities where people are scamming, people are doing stupid things. This community I feel is a little more tight knit and a little more inclusive, and that might be part of the shootout trend or whatever. But I would definitely say the community and the fans are what keeps it going. So
for sure. It's definitely a self-policing type of community, huh?
It is, and it's you have the few and the far between, but the good thing is the community usually comes together and tries to help each other out. And the good thing is we have Dan and those guys are starting to advance some things for us again, so that's good. So for a little while I felt like it was going to kind of drop off, but with everyone starting to jump back in a little bit and making some new parts, I think it's going to keep going. So
for sure. So Justin, what would you say is your favorite thing about this car?
Man, that's a hard question. I want to say my favorite thing is just driving it. I would say it's a little humbling to drive something like that. A little 4-cylinder that hasn't been turned up, hasn't done a whole lot of stuff. Just cruising down the track at 8 seconds at over 170 miles an hour is probably my favorite thing about the car. I guess I could say a lot of the people is the looks of it. I maintain it very well. I take a lot of good care in the car.
Good.
But I definitely say driving it is probably my favorite thing.
Awesome. That's well, I guess that's really where everything like accumulates, right? Like you finally get everything together, and that's what makes driving the best part.
Yeah. So it kind of makes you forget everything, all the hard work, everything else. When you sit in that driver's seat and you make that pass, it's so overwhelming. You kind of forget about all the crap you've been through to get to that point.
Yeah,
so
for
it's
sure.
just like, you blood, sweat, and tears up till 4 o'clock in the morning, change the transmissions in the parking lot. Once you make that pass, everything is just forgotten. It's just, smiles everywhere.
Yeah. So Justin, looking back on it, this build that you've, slowly got up into the 8s where you are now, if you think you could start all over and change anything, is there anything that you would change, getting to where you are now?
Honestly, not really. I definitely think it's a learning curve. So I'm kind of glad that I went through the different setups.
Yeah.
Because I think driving, the car, the power it's at now compared to where it was before, even with that 6870, it's a whole lot different. So I don't think I would change that, just simply for the fact that people need to learn to, kind of control that type of car, things like that. So I don't think I would change the way I did it. I think if I hopped in the car now the way it was, and that was the first time I drove it, we might be having a different conversation, because the car might be into a wall or, total or something like that.
Yeah.
Just because it's totally different. I know people, think they can just hop in anything and kind of drive it, but I will tell you what, driving a car of, that kind of power, definitely, everyone says, oh, yeah, you can just get in the car and, drive straight for, a quarter mile. It's not like that anymore. You're definitely actually driving, steering, doing some maneuvering. It's not like you can just hang it on and you're start to finish.
Yeah.
So I definitely got to take the exact same route I did before. So
don't just pick your clutch foot up and hold on to the steering wheel, huh?
Absolutely not. So I probably steered more in a quarter mile than sometimes actually making a trip to the grocery store. Yeah. So it's definitely a pretty interesting learning curve once you get up to those power levels.
Sometimes you got to take the long way to the finish line.
Yeah, the very long way. So, I've seen some videos where, I've crossed the center line. I've almost hit a wall. I hear the entire crowd grasp and things like that, like, something terrible is going to happen. So it's and everyone's like, I don't know how you get back in that car. Just that smile.
Yeah.
Like I said, when you're driving it is just overwhelming when everything's working right. So that's why I continue to get back in the car.
Heck yeah.
This episode of the MitsuTimes podcast is brought to you by Boosted Fabrication. They create custom parts for most Mitsubishi vehicles, parts stronger and lighter than OEM, such as cross members, engine mounts, bumper supports, and many others, including custom parts by request. Boosted Fabrication builds all parts to order using only high-quality materials, bonded together with expert precision, and finished to not only last, but to look good doing it. Check out all the products they have to offer at boostedfabrication.com.
So, Justin, you've been into this, the Evos for a long time. If someone out there, they have an Evo and they're looking to get up into the 8s where you are, what advice would you give them for their build so they can avoid some of the roadblocks that you might have hit on the way to your 8-second pass?
Oh, if someone wants to go 8s in an Evo, I would definitely say, obviously do research on the shops that are have cars that are doing the 8-second passes. Don't just go out and pick your local shop just because you think that they're doing great work, something like that. Take advice from the community. There's a lot of guys in the community that will actually help you out compared to other communities where they're kind of close knit. Just do your research. Don't overdo your setup. There's, like I said, the 6870. That setup would have done 8s, every day of the week. So you don't have to overbuild. Find your goals, find where you want to be at. Build your car to that. Take some advice from the shops that have done it. There's plenty of them out there that are proven, things like that. So, I think too many guys jump onto the bandwagon of these new shops that come out, and they don't rely on the shops that are already around because they might charge a little more, but the reason they're charging more is because they've lived through everything that you're trying to do,
right?
And they're going to point you in the right direction and just make it happen.
Yeah.
So, we're at a point now where Slow Motion Motorsports. Corey's car was one of the the quicker Evos back in the day. He went. I want to say, he went. What he goes 848 or something like that on that 6785. However many years ago. And it just works. So it's it's one of those things where we're at a power level now that they haven't experienced. So it's a learning curve for both of us. But like I said, he was the one that kind of helped me get in the right direction and do it. So it's like you have Boost and you have all these other shops out there that are have already done it. So it's just pick a shop that's done it. Don't go by the bandwagon Instagram, Facebook posters, because most of those guys don't have time to even do that. Just do your research, ask people in the community, they'll help you out, and pick a shop that's been there. So,
yep. It's been said on this podcast many times, but I feel like people don't grasp. If you're trying to get to the top of the list, and you're choosing a shop whose car is 20th on the list.
Yeah,
it doesn't make a lot of sense.
It does not, and 20th on the list now is pretty crazy. So. I think years ago it wasn't so bad, but the advancements in the past few years, seeing trying to break into the sevens, and I think it was Proco, right, that went sevens first or whatever, the Proco Evo. And well, I mean, some could argue, I guess it was the Greek guys, but it's you have them, and all of a sudden you have the RRT cars going 7.5, 7.6, 7.7, 199 miles an hour. So it's like the list is 20 is not near what it used to be.
Yeah.
I don't even know where I'm at on the dyno list anymore. And I went over 1,200. I want to say I'm probably like 25th or something probably by now. So.
On my list here, it says on the Evo list you're 57.
For dyno or for time?
Time. I didn't write down
time.
The dyno one, but
I was going to say, I mean, even in the past couple of years, I used to be for a little while I was in the top 40. Now I'm 57. So that just shows you the technology and the things the guys are doing nowadays. These shops are definitely stepping up and putting in some work on these cars. So
13th on the dyno list.
Yeah, I mean, so there you go. And I think I started the year off, I was like number 3 or 4 when you brought that list out. So, it didn't take very long for me to fall 10 spots within a year. So
crazy. That list is nuts.
It is. Seeing some of those other cars is pretty incredible. I know RRT has, is up there. You have the boosting guys up there. There's a lot of cars make a lot of power now, but it's good. It's good for the community. You get some competition back out of these guys instead of just you have one guy at the top and everyone else kind of lagging behind.
Yeah.
It almost feels like the old Busher AMS days is what it feels like.
Chopping one's in the lead, then the other's in the lead. I think this year is going to be we're going to see some new number ones this year, and I think that's pretty exciting.
I think so. I see a lot of pretty big builds going on out there right now, and some pretty big improvements going on with some of the other guys. So, a lot of guys lightening things up, throwing some different technology at things. I think it's going to be a pretty crazy year.
Yep. Well, speaking of the year, Justin, what are your goals for 2024?
I guess my goals are, honestly, to have fun first off. That's one thing that has been a little bit on the sidelines the past couple of years with the changes and things like that. So have fun, but I'd like to see the car, bottom 8s, get in the 7s if possible. We have some things that we haven't even done yet with the new setup. We haven't been over, I want to say, 34 psi of the track. In any year, so I want to say that the pass that we've made that was like 891 or something like that was on like 34 pounds of boost.
Wow.
So I mean we have a lot of room to grow with the car. We haven't utilized obviously the launch like you said. So maybe get some some 1 360 foots Maybe get up into 60-some pounds of boost, and, if needed, actually turn the nitrous on for once and see what it does then. So, I'd like to get in the I'd like to get in the sevens, but I'd be happy with some low eights this year as part of the learning curve. So,
would you say that a 7-second pass is a long-term goal?
Yeah, definitely. 7-second pass is definitely something that is going to have to happen with the car at some point, definitely before I retire it.
Good deal.
Like I said, everything's a learning curve, especially when, I'm not like I don't have my own shop. I'm not sponsored by anyone.
Right.
Everything is privately financed. I don't advertise a lot. I just kind of go out and do my thing and try to stay as humble as possible, and kind of let the car do its own talking. So.
Heck yeah. So, Justin, what events do you plan to attend in 2024?
So definitely the IFOs. I think we have 3 in Ohio again this year. So we'll hit those up. Obviously the shootout. I will never miss a shootout, even if my car is not with me. God forbid. I hope it is, but if it's not, I'll still be there no matter what. And honestly, I would like to qualify for World Cup this year.
Yes, I was hoping you'd say that.
That has been a goal of mine ever since we got in States a couple years ago. Is push the car to the limits to where we can actually get to World Cup. I've been there just once to watch, and honestly, to just make a pass in front of all those people, all those fans, they're just so excited to watch. I mean, everyone's there just to watch racing.
Right.
It's such a good time just for that. No one's there to, bash anyone else. They're just there to have a good time. So to bring the car there to race in that would be, my goal for the entire year. So.
Hell yeah, man. I look forward to that this year. I really hope that happens.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. So like I said, that is my main goal. We've done a lot over the winter and things like that to get prepared for that. So
hell yeah. So, Justin, where can people find and follow you on social media so they can see this sweet firework picture along with everything else that you're changing up on the car?
So honestly, my Facebook, my personal Facebook, and then my Instagram. Like I said, I don't do a lot of advertising though, so maybe this year it'll change. But like I said, I'm just out there to kind of enjoy everything around me. I know a lot of guys are out there trying to get sponsorships and doing things like that. But I just want people to enjoy the car, myself to enjoy the car. I just want everyone to have a good time. Is the big thing behind it. So, I know a lot of people, talk the car up. I have a lot of fans, a lot of people that post stuff. I've been invited to the Haltech open houses. I've had my own designated spot at Haltech, things like that when I was running Haltech. So the car gets some recognition, but like I said, my personal Facebook and my personal Instagram are the only spots that I really advertise at all or show the car off. So
hell yeah, man. And if you're out there and you're looking to get sponsored, you need to be at PRI is where you need to be.
Oh, yeah, I would love to go to PRI. My buddy Brian and Corey from Slow Motion went this year, and Brian's like, I was going to call you and see if you wanted to go. I'm like, it'd have been nice, but I'll make it there one time. I hear it's a great time, a lot better than SEMA, so I heard it's exciting to see all the new stuff coming out. So hopefully at some point I'll make it out to PRI, but like I said, my goal is just to, myself to have fun, everyone else to have fun, people to enjoy the car. I'm not going to be one of those people that, ropes it off or does like that. If you want to take pictures, do whatever you want to do. That's completely up to everyone else. So, yeah.
Just you there physically, like going booth to booth, be like, hey, I have an 8-second Evo or whatever the listener has out there. Man, those companies at PRI, they love to hear that stuff. They really want to get on people's teams.
Nice.
So
yeah, well, I'll definitely have to check it out. Hopefully this year. So like I said, goal is to make it to World Cup this year, and then I don't know, maybe the secondary goal is to actually make it to PRI this year as well. So
heck yeah, man. Well, Justin, at the end, I always give people a chance to give a thanks or a shout-out to anybody who's helped them get where they are, get their car where it is right now. Is there anybody that you want to give a shout-out to?
Oh, yeah, definitely. My good friend Brian Wattenshade, he's the one that always kind of, pushes me, keeps me going with the car. He's been there for a lot of the builds and the ups and downs. Joey Greenwald has been there for quite a while as well. We call him Loco Tuned because he usually drinks the Four Locos and kind of taps on the keyboard every once in a while. So Slow Motion Motorsports, all the guys over there, Corey Parrish, Mandy Parrish now since they got married. Brad's not there anymore, but T and all those guys over there, they've been great over the years. Just working on the car, the attention to detail, things like that, has been phenomenal over there. My fans that want to see the car continue going. Honestly, that's one of the things that makes it exciting is you see the little kids' faces light up when they see your car or something like that. So that is a very beneficial thing. And then X Clutch is another one that I want to kind of shout out to this year. I'm pretty sure I'm the first person, at least in the United States, that's running their triple disc on Evo. So that'll be something new for this year. It's kind of cool to talk to those guys and figure out what's going on with their clutches. I've heard great things, so I'm hoping it works out great. And then obviously, you and Dan have done a great, tremendous amount for the community the last, year at least. Dan is always, obviously with his parts and his innovation and making me spend money on all that damn titanium. And then, the things you guys have done for real. Trying to build the community back up and, getting that money back in the shootout it was huge last year. The turnout, the people that were there, even though an Evo or DSM didn't win, it was still cool to have all those cars there just,
definitely
going out of the track. Everyone's having fun because attendance was down for a little while. But so definitely you guys for, putting your hats back in the game and getting it going again. So
yep, definitely. I can't wait to do it again this year. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I'm excited. So I know you guys announced that you guys are going to be doing some cool stuff again.
Yep.
Like I said, I think if you guys didn't do that last year, that might have been it.
Yeah.
So the attendance has been down for a little while, as we know. But last year, just seeing all those, a lot of new faces, a lot of old faces coming back out for the shootout was pretty cool. So
definitely. It's crazy how, I'm not taking credit for this, but it's crazy how just that spark, now you see people building serious cars again.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's, a lot of guys actually got serious when you guys started doing those announcements and things like that. So, and this year, they're going to have a little more time to prepare. Like you said, you're starting to see all these build photos and stuff and these videos. Yeah. Popping up all over, my Facebook feed and Instagram and all this stuff. So I'm excited to see what this year brings with you guys doing that last year. So,
absolutely.
Like I said, if you guys didn't do it, I think the event might have been near its end last year. So
yeah, nobody wants to see that.
No, it's been going on for too long. Maybe one day we'll even get Shep to get the talent back out. So
yeah, I know he's not listening, but Shep, please, even if you don't want to race it, just bring it.
It's there. I saw it at his house this year when I went up there. So it's just sitting in his garage hanging out. Still has the exact same license plate on it. It would be definitely nice to see that thing get on track again.
Yeah.
Because man, I couldn't imagine that car was a little ahead of its time.
Absolutely.
What it could do with today's technology. So.
Well, Justin, thank you so much for taking the time to come on here and tell your story. I'm more excited for 2024 than I think I've ever been, and I can't wait to see you put on that certified badass World Cup sticker at the end of the year, man.
Oh, I appreciate it. Yeah, that's like I said. If there was actually any goal for this year, the low 7 or the high 7-second pass, low 8-second, that's irrelevant. It's to actually get to World Cup. So
yes.
that is my goal. I hope it happens, and I appreciate everything you've done for the community. So
absolutely, man. All right, well, I'll talk to you soon.
Yep, sounds good. Appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to the MitsuTimes podcast. Check out our Instagram and Facebook for daily updates. Get added to our list by going to MitsuTimes.org and clicking Submit a Slip. Thank you to all of our sponsors.